Good morning. All right, we're getting set up here for this unofficial report. All right, quite a lot happened last night, so I want to make sure I get everything in front of me here. Maybe. I just don't want it to be, I don't want anything to be reversed. See if this shows up here. Something like that. Okay. I think I'll get it right eventually. Alrighty. So just need to make this too distracting. Now let's get started. Local 308. July membership meeting. 2023. We it was a little different today, or yesterday. It was last night. Instead of having us sit in rows, they had the officials had the tables out, so we were all seated around the tables. That was different, and it was Vice President Mark Weems, Second Vice President Penny McCoach, and they chaired the meeting. We didn't have the Secretary, Deborah Lane, President Dixon, or Assistant Secretary. They did everything. I think Cassie Collins was maybe helping out too. But it was different. It was definitely different. Eric Dixon was and Deborah Lane were at the Can-Am conference, which is Canadian American, some kind of labor conference, probably a bunch of BS. But it's in the bylaws, in the Constitution. We got to send officers there. I'm sure it's a nice, cushy trip, and a huge waste of money. Black Caucus has a baseball ticket fundraiser scholarship. Contact Darwin Walker. We had roll call, so roll call are the officers that are there. So officers that were present, we had 8 officers present, and 5, 10, 15, 16, 17 officers not present. Yeah. And of course, in the shop, the department I'm in, our officials weren't there. I got a live chat going here. I think it's operating, so hopefully I can see your chats if you want to put in any comments. Hopefully I'll be able to see it. If you got any questions, put it in there. This might be a little while, okay? So we had an election for Assistant Executive Board for 54th O'Hare Congress Section Executive Board. So that election was going on, and Brother Perez in he won. So we have a new officer. Let's see. So they read minutes from the last from the main meeting, because we didn't have a June meeting that was canceled, no quorum. And that's when King Costa visited our local and talked about all his resume and whatever the hell, just babbling on. about himself. And ironically, the minutes had left out a strike authorization committee vote that was seconded, and Eric Dixon ruled it out of order, didn't want it. But that was chopped out of the minutes. It was seconded, and that was chopped out. So I brought that up. So that should be amended per the record, because I brought that up. Because they didn't like that. They don't like Local 308, 241, ATU in general. They don't like anyone who talks about strike, and they don't even like protests. They just like to have good relationships with management. And that's what they believe is good for us. I disagree, but that's okay. Rainbow Push. It was like me and one other person were the only ones that voted no. We're gonna blow $1,500 on some tickets for Tuesday, July 18th at UIC at 6 p.m. So go get your tickets. You paid for it. Call the union office for a Rainbow Push. It's like we're a charity or something. Forget ever raising money to give to a member whose house burned down or they got fired. You know what I mean? Forget that. No, we can't. That's always out of order. But when it comes to this BS of banquets and parties and picnics with other organizations, we got lots of money to blow on that. Y'all gotta vote this stuff down. Why do you let them waste our money on this crap? You think about it. Operation Rainbow, God bless them. But we're a union. And we're actually working for an employer that is extremely wicked in how they treat us. And they abuse us. And we don't do any kind of organizing. We don't have any steward classes. We don't do anything to help the members get educated and fight back, which takes money, by the way. And we spend it on this garbage. I forgot to ask how much to barbecue. We're going to have a barbecue August 11th. And a picnic, whatever they call it. And I'm sure that costs $10,000 plus dollars. Because it did last time. All right, so the general account is at, right now, about $286,000. Our total deposits are about $231. Dues just went up. Total spending is $191. Okay. Grievance fund is at $66,000. It's still in the black. Building fund, $16,000. Scholarship fund, $5,000. Wind Trust, $7,000. Wind Trust is the account that was used for the. Remember when they got the PPP loan? Yeah, so that's money left over there. President Dixon said we're going to use that for job actions. Job actions. They do a job on us with no action, that's for sure. So I asked about the audit. Because even in the minutes it was read that Secretary of Treasury, we're going to have the audit report next month. Well, we're not going to have it. Every month, it's next month, it's next month, it's next. We're supposed to have 2 audit reports, you know that. Twice a year. Now we're just going to get 1. But it's overdue. So I brought that up. I said, well, I moved that we share it with the members anyways. And Vice President Weems said, well, we don't have anyone of the secretaries here to answer questions about it, so can we please deal with that next month? And I'm like, okay. But you realize, brothers and sisters, that they're not. Yeah, they say that International says everything adds up, everything looks good, but we haven't seen it. You haven't seen it. Okay, so next month, I predict that the secretary or the president will find some reason not to share the audit report with us again. And like I said, this is over a year. Would you please come to your membership meeting? And when I or you make a motion that we share the audit report with the members, second it, and demand we get a vote. Any seconded motion has to get a vote. All right? Let's do that in August. All right? And I tell you, they don't care. Dixon and Lane, they don't care about us. They don't care about this money. They just want to get their money, get the hell out, and do whatever they're going to do next. Okay? But we have to make them serve us. Okay, so Brother Weems said, Mark Weems said, yeah, we're gonna make sure the report comes out next month. Okay, all right, thank you. So we had grievances. We had to vote on grievances. Mine was one of them. I had a grievance. I won't really discuss it, but it wasn't. It was basically a job I applied for, and the CTA retaliated against me and made sure I didn't get it. But I was very qualified for it. It's a union job as an instructor. But that's not really that important. Except I was told that you can't grieve it because it's not contractual. Actually, it is contractual because I was being retaliated against for being a militant union steward. And your contract says you cannot be discriminated against for your union affiliation. And of course, the CTA, their letter was very nebulous. Their response, it was incredible, and the members there knew it. So 10 voted that my case should go to arbitration. 16 voted against it. So let's look at some other cases. There weren't a lot. There was just 4 that we had to deal with for arbitration. One of them was a procedural violation. Okay, and the argument with this one was when you get, how can I say, check the manager's list. Those of you on the operations side, especially, look at that manager's list, look at that hit list, and look to see if your badge number's on there. Okay? If it's on there, find out when the manager wants to see you, get your union representation set up. Okay? If you don't, if they keep having your name on that list, they're just going to eventually take you out of service, okay? So, I understand there might be underlying or mitigating circumstances here, but I just wanted to tell you, these are things I'm sharing with you that I learned, right, about these grievances that come up. The other one is, regarding the discrimination aspect. Another coworker, he was also discriminated against for instructor class. He was given a hard time. Illinois Department of Human Rights is, but I think and Vice President Mark Weems did a fantastic job chairing our meeting. But Brother Mark, and anyone who wants to run for office or anyone that wants to be a steward, you can rattle off a bunch of departments that people could appeal to if your grievance is thrown out, different agencies. Help them do it. Help them do it. If it's an unfair labor practice, help them do it. I got to file that, by the way. But if it's the Department of Human Rights, help them, okay? Okay. Yeah, so just make sure. Oh, and if you grieve something, you only got 30 days. So if you're skipped for overtime or you're written up, you got to do it within 30 days, okay? And don't feel bad. Don't think, maybe I don't want to cause the union because I know, I don't want to spend money at the union because my grievance really, maybe I deserve it. Nah, just grieve it. Just do it, okay? Just do it. It's your right. Do it. And if any officer tells you, no, you can't grieve it, or they refuse to give it to you, let me know. I'll be glad to help you make sure it gets submitted. So we had officer report. Sister Penny McCoach said there was a safety meeting last month with the CTA, or a meeting with last month with the CTA talking about safety and whatnot. The CTA is complaining that the train operators are not paying attention, but they're not doing anything wrong, right? So what they're doing, train operators, is they're downloading video and they're watching you pick your nose or sing or talk to yourself or space out, and it's inattention to duty. And Sister Penny said she argued and said, look, man, these people are being worked to death. They're overwhelmed. It becomes a job that's very stressful, and operators sometimes have to end up looking at other stuff. If they're not doing anything wrong, though, they're not causing an accident, berthing the train properly, what the hell do you care? And although we didn't discuss this, but this is why you need two-person crews. This is why you need less trips. Okay? This is why you need more recovery time. So that the job is less monotonous, the job can be enjoyable, all right? And it can be safer. Because it's very stressful on train operator. Now, I'm not a train operator anymore, but I used to be. And frankly, I really enjoyed it. But I see it for what it is, and it's a hire to fire job. And even Mark Weems brought up, he said, look, the operators get beat up. They need a better quality of life. They're worn out. They're the ones that get the most safeties, the most write-ups, and it's true. It's true. Extremely stressful. It's a mental. Train operation is more mental than it is physical. And it takes a lot of resilience to do the job and to survive. She did say there's still some issues with door operation. So you want to make sure that you're opening the doors when your train is fully in the station. But here again, we have 8-car trains. 8-car trains. That's a lot to look down on, okay? It's a lot to see. All right, yeah, there's birth markers at most of the stations and whatnot. Stuff happens, okay? But that's why we need two-person crews. We need someone right there in the middle area of the cars, and they do the doors. They focus on the doors. They'll see if they're at the 4th car, the 5th car, or the 3rd car. This person, this other operator, this conductor will see. Oops. They'll hit that buzzer. I think it's 3 times. Missed the birth month. I think it's 4. And then the operator will communicate and they'll move the train up a little bit. Okay? That's the way it should be. But we got to fight for that. So hopefully July 14th, Friday, you will show up at the Hour of Power protest at Forest Park. Join our protest as we fight for these things. She said the CTA said we were appreciated. We did a great job on the Pride Day. Isn't that nice of them? They don't appreciate us. Because if they did appreciate us, we wouldn't be harassed when we use FMLA. We wouldn't be abused and made to be out here all these hours, forced overtime, okay? So for the frontline people, in the back, where maintenance, where we would have a generous tool allowance. We would have all the tools we need to get the job done, no excuses. We would have elevators that work, forklifts that work, etc. Okay, it's that simple. We would have clean and safe working conditions. They don't appreciate what they want. What they do appreciate is when we're quiet. And that's what they appreciate. And that's exactly what they're getting. Except Friday, July 14th. They're not going to appreciate us on July 14th. I guarantee you. Even though we're talking about surviving. Let's see. There's any comments? No comments. Okay. So, almost done here. Okay, West Section pick. So the West Section pick was finished. So Sister Penny had mentioned your choice slip. Okay, so this would be any pick, any department. Maintenance, operations, back office, clerk, instructor. Fill out your choice slip and fill it out. I mean, don't just put one or two things. Just say, look, this is going to be my first, second, third, fourth, fifth. And turn it in. Now, say, I'm going to call it in. Okay. Do that. You calling in will supersede the picks, the choice slip. But let's say you forget to call in. Let's say when you call, you can't get through. So, fill out the choice slip. That's basically what Sister Penny's saying. And I agree with her. I do it. I fill it out. I mean, I think there's 6 slots for us that I saw my last slip. So I filled them all out. Just do it. And she said, otherwise, you know what's going to happen. The union person there or whoever is going to choose it for you. They're probably going to choose what you had last time. You may not want that. So, please spread that word to others. So, okay, Vice President Weems said he and Boss Hill met with Dorvell Carter, Mr. 33%. And they're going to have displays at every station that are going to show you all the cameras and all the stuff people are doing. So you, not only can you get reports about the crimes or the people that are pooping and pissing on the platforms, but you will see them. And because of that, you will be safer. I guess. That's what they say. And I'm sure the cameras, you'll be able to see yourself on there too, and your coworkers. So that should be enjoyable. Cameras. Ironically, right now, one of the things that UPS workers are building up a strike about is cameras. Think about that. Okay, regarding the contract, he said Dorvell Carter, Mr. 33%, said he wants quote-unquote sustainable funding. Sustainable funding. And then he wants Local 308, Local 241 leadership to go downstate to get that funding. Wait a minute. You are the president of the company that we work at, Mr. Carter. And you're telling us, through our union leadership, that we have to go get the money. That's what you're saying. And you got them saying they're going to do it. I guess we'll make a trip down there, a nice long trip. Take people down and get them lunch. Really? Well, let me tell you something, Mr. 33%. We got 2 numbers for you. 800 billion and 180 billion. 800 billion is for the war machine, and 180 billion is for the prison industrial complex machine. That's where the money is. That's where the money is. So you go get it. And stop making excuses to keep our poor coworkers in poverty and sucking the life out of them with the pension contribution. We need full-time jobs for all, two-person crews, clean and safe working conditions, brick and mortar bathrooms for all CTA employees, and no more excuses. We're not going to go get the money for you. We're going to make you understand that you better get the money. Yeah. And you're going to hear from us on July 14th. All right. Doorbell Carter asked Mark Williams, is the pension sustainable? His must be his favorite. Sustainable, blah, 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 blah. And Mark Williams said, yes. Brother Mark, now really. I think that's a matter of your perception. 60-something% funding level is not sustainable, especially with market downturns and increasing costs of living. We are not sustainably funded. He did bring up lowering the retirement age. Dorval Carter said he's going to run some simulations. He's going to run some simulations. What the hell does that mean? I see him like on a computer here. Kick my feet up here. I'm going to run some simulations. Click, click, click. Ooh, it's just TikTok over here. Oh, okay. Okay, you're going to run some simulations. There's no simulations. Why don't you just look at our condition as workers and you can see the reality? We're in trouble. So we need to get more people in the pension, paying in. That way we can lower the contribution rate. That means full-time jobs for all. You got it? It's simple. You don't need no simulations. It's simulation. It's simulation. It's simulation. It's another corporate speak mumbo jumbo that just makes my skin crawl. And Vice President Weems is just a messenger here, okay, y'all? But, brother President, that's why you need to organize the members to fight. And then you say, hey, man, these people aren't happy. What you got? And you should take us with you in these meetings. Please don't go by yourself. Maybe you're afraid we might say something that will embarrass you. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. But if you help us by speaking on the things that we're passionate about, it's not going to be an issue. It's not going to be an issue. In fact, we would help you. We would back you. Something to think about. Alrighty. So he also talked about, Mark Williams said he needs to talk with some of the trustees of the retirement board, you know, and a lot of those are CTA people. What do you have to talk about with them? What are they going to talk about? They're just going to,
yeah, we don't really need this pension. It's very expensive. Let's have a 401k and maybe we'll match it.
Yeah. Forget it. What you going to match it? 4%, 5%, 3%, 2%, 1%. We're getting $2 for every dollar we put in our pension. There's no 401k that can match that. It's a damn good pension. But you got to lower that age. 26 and out, man. You can't be doing 40 plus years. I'm not a youngster, but we got some youngsters that started at the CTA. So they got put in a whole bunch of years just to meet that age. That ain't right. They'll be dead in a couple of years. How is that? That sucks. You're not going to keep anybody here treating them like that. So quality of life, we want 8 hours, especially for the front line. The train operators, yep. But you got to fight for it. So in order to make sure that all the train operators have, and I would say bus too, it would go into bus too, have these 8 hours, no more than 8, right, of work. He said it's going to cost, Donald Bonds or Dorville Carter said it's going to cost the CTA $1.3 million more. Okay, so what? You know, it's not our job, Brother Vice and members, to help the CTA figure out how to pay us for all of our great work and sacrifice of life energy. It's not our job. It's not our job. I don't care if it's 1.3 billion. 8 hours, man. These damn swing shifts. These people with these gap trains and whatnot, missing lunch. 15 minutes getting out late, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. It adds up, man. And they got to commute and they got to be back 8 hours later. Nah, man. It's unsustainable. He wants to talk about sustainable funding. Well, what about sustainable living? What about sustainable dignity? Oh, you managers, you're really something else. You're really something else. I had mentioned, okay. So, July 24th, there should be a meeting with Local 308 officials and the CTA regarding the unvaccinated workers that were fired. We're talking about just bringing them back. And what they're going to work out for that, I don't know. Are we going to say back pay, lost seniority? You know, you need to give it all to them. I didn't write this down, but I forgot to mention. So I mentioned, I said, when you meet with these people, these managers, I said to Sister Penny and Brother Mark, I highly recommend you don't take pictures with them because you're sending it sends a mixed signals to the members. You take pictures with these managers, you got to understand, these people have done horrible things to us that we did not deserve. And you know that. Okay, maybe you say, well, some of us deserve it. Okay. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the injustice. So Sister Penny, Brother Mark, whoever, Boss Aqua, all you people, stop taking pictures with these goddamn mismanagers. It looks bad. Brother Mark kind of was saying, he started going in a different direction with it, but sometimes officers say stuff to me because it's been on their mind, so if there's ever an opportunity to address me, they'll just bring it up. And maybe this was one of those instances. And he said, we can't just not talk to them. We got to communicate with them. We got to do this. Look, I said, Brother Mark, I ain't talking about not communicating. I'm saying taking pictures with these people. Please stop taking pictures with these people that torment us. Please. It looks bad. I hear it on the floor. Okay, I hear this from people. And I agree with them. So, look, I know in business unionism, the philosophy is maintain good relationships with management. Cool. That's business unionism. Well, I'm a revolutionary unionist. My relationships with my coworkers are all that matters. Management, they're irrelevant. Why? They're the decision makers. They have the power. They have the... No. We have the power to make the decisions at work. When we stand up and unite and fight to take it. But you wouldn't know unless you study history and study what some other militant unions are doing right now. And I wouldn't say the UPS workers are in a militant union. I wouldn't call Teamsters militant, okay? I would call Teamsters more inclined to union democracy, which allows for militancy, okay? But we have to do that. We have to stand up. We have to make these people respect us. But we got to show them and demonstrate it through direct action. All right. So a member brought up a strike authorization survey vote. And ironically, not ironically, but it was seconded and it was voted on. And it was such a proud moment for me to witness that I don't think I ever actually, it was actually a very proud, joyous, enjoyable, happy moment to see that Mark Weems and Sister Penny didn't throw a fit, didn't rule it out of order. He wanted to rule it out of order. I said, Brother Mark, it was seconded. You know you got to let it go to a vote. And then, of course, Boss Franklin is there with his BS. Well, can we bring it to the floor with a debate? And I'm like, good idea. And so we're talking, and people are going back and forth about it. It shouldn't be this. It was read and written down in this motion, da-da-da-da-da. And it was debated, and some people got upset, but it was all civilized. Because the chair of the meeting, Vice President Weems and Penny McCoach, they let the members speak. And they let the vote. The vote was shot down. I think it was just a couple votes for, and the majority were against. But so it was lost, right? It didn't. The motion didn't die, but the vote was lost. But what happens is when you do that, it allows the debate to go on. Even Brother Overstreet, God bless that brother. Okay, he's smart. Annoys the hell out of me a lot. But, he brought up some great points about, maybe, the motion should be worded like this and like that. And Ken Franklin really couldn't diss it, because it was already being debated. But he wanted to, because, he don't like anything to do with strikes. He'll tell you he does, but he's just lying to you. But it was a really positive moment. And I really want to say I felt proud for the first time. Yeah, I'd have to say 5 years being a member of this union, and I really was so excited to be a member of a union, a union job when I got this job, when I started at the CTA. But it was a debate about the issue. The person speaking who brought the motion was allowed to speak. He never had a stupid hammer, out of order, out of order, out of order. It was beautiful. And after the meeting, I went up to Mark Weems. I said, Brother Mark, you have respect for the members, And I said, that was good. There's disagreement. And he was squirming, you could tell he didn't like the motion at all. Out of order, I might have to rule. I'll have to rule it out of order. Come on, brother, don't do this, man. Don't kill democracy. And that's what matters, y'all. I know some of y'all say, that Eric Becerra, he doesn't like it. If he doesn't get his way, he storms out, blah, blah, blah. Nah, man. Nah, it's not about my way. It's about letting people speak their minds and letting them exercise their democratic rights to direct the union. I even said it. Majority of people in this room are probably going to shoot this motion down, but just let it go. So what? Let it go. It was seconded. Stop changing the rules. Stop screwing with democracy. And like I said, I give credit. I give credit to Mark Williams and Penny McCoach. They didn't get in the way of democracy. And they got their way. Because I know they don't want to deal with this strike stuff. I know it. I know it. Nobody really does, actually. Striking is scary. Especially if people never done it before and they're brainwashed and told, yeah, it's bad, you don't want to do it. There's a no strike clause in the contract. I mean, people are literally lied to about striking, okay? There's no such thing, by the way. So it's just a good thing. So I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry it took so long. We had a brother there that brought up an issue with a board member. It was really great, you know, and to see that brother speak up, and I was real happy because again, instead of just keeping it inside or just going all out with management to punish this person took it to the meeting. And that's what I encourage y'all to do. When these officers, you know, screw you or you feel you've been screwed over or whatever, bring it to the meeting. Bring it to the meeting. And if I'm there, you know I'm going to stand up. I'm not going to let them run all over you. You know what I mean? Um, but it was really cool because when it was brought up, Vice President Weems and Penny McCoach, they said, well, we apologize for, you know, this happening to you and you being affected this way. I mean, they did it on behalf of officers, you know. Even if this person might, let's just say this person's wrong and they made it all up. The conduct of the officers that day was so civilized. They weren't yelling at us. I mean, none of them threatened me with anything. All the questions I brought up, anything I said, I never got threatened. It was so peaceful. And I didn't have to storm out. I didn't have to curse them out, call them bootlickers and stuff. You know what I mean? So I think things can work as long as we keep respecting democracy. And then it was interesting. Boss Aqua was there, and she gave this member a complaint form. You know, so you know the officers are kind of helping the members a little bit. I was like, man, this is nice. I said, man, Eric Dixon, stay away. Deborah Lane, stay away. Just resign already. Your toxic poison crap. You make us all so miserable. You know why? Because you don't want to be there. You don't like the union. You don't like the members. You're always got these faces like you're just like, ugh, and you just make us all sick. All right. So I think that's it. I don't see any comments or questions. We did get a new Constitution book. So on ChicagoTransitWorker.com, Know Your Rights. We did update it there so you can read it online, download it there. It's also on the ATU.org website. Okay, so make sure you get this book. Get it from your union officers. They should be giving it to you for free. Or you can go to the union office. Ironically, when I left the meeting, Ken Franklin was out there, and as they were passing them to us, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I didn't agree with most of these things in here, blah blah." I said, "Really? You didn't agree with increasing the strike fund?" What do you mean? Well, you know, he's trying to talk to people. He's BSing us. You know, I didn't agree with this. Said, right. You didn't agree with the absentee ballots, right? People have to come to the union hall to vote, right? They have to come here. You can't do it online, right? That's right. The members got to get off their butts and come to the meeting. I said, that's real interesting, Brother Ken. So you think that everybody that doesn't come to the meeting and doesn't vote is because they're lazy, don't you think that? Isn't that right? Well, they need to do... Okay. Yes, dummy. Let me ask y'all this. There's over 1,000 of us. How in the world could we all go to that union hall and vote? Impossible. Wouldn't even fit. And I had a nice little debate with him, a little argument with him. But I'm gonna tell you, that man Ken Franklin's running for president. Y'all vote for him if you want. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. ChicagoTransitWorker.com, unofficial meeting reports. Is years. I got reports up there for you that I uploaded for the coalition of all of his meetings from his second term. Almost every meeting. A report about it. This man is a traitor. He sold out the Midway 4. Look him up. Hashtag the Midway 4. Wow. Him and Deborah Lane just threw them into the furnace of the CTA. We were on the verge of mass walkouts at the first wave of the pandemic, and this man killed it. And Deborah Lane. Horrible, horrible, horrible treasonous behavior. I'm telling you, don't vote for this guy. Vote Deborah Lane. Sister Penny McCoach is running for president. I hope she don't change her mind, but she did tell me. I asked her twice, asked her in person, asked her over the phone. Hope she gonna start going out there, because Ken Franklin's going all around spreading his strawberry scented bullshit and dazzling people with his charisma. But at Sister Penny, she works. She works. She's got a record of service. We disagree on quite a few things, but she works. Okay? And she talks to me. When I ask questions, when I need assistance, she assists me. She assists me the way I would like her to sometimes, no. But she assists me. So she don't take it personal. We need people like that in office. Ken Franklin, he takes things personal. Okay? He follows whatever the CTA tells him, whatever the Deborah Lane would tell him, he follow that. He don't follow us. He has no respect for us. And he'll tell you one thing, he'll do something else. And he did nothing for us. Y'all got it, Sister Penny. I hope to God you don't change your mind. Hope you run. And I know some of y'all want me to run. I said, you go ahead and nominate me for whatever you want. You can nominate me for president if you want. But I say, put me in a second vice. Let me show and prove if I can even do it. Right? Put me in down there under the radar. I'll be on the grievance committee. So I'll tell you everything that them people vote. Every grievance. Everything. Maybe if we have a president and coach, she may even say, you know what, Boogeyman, I had enough of you. I'm kicking you out of these meetings. That'll be fine. But I know if I get in there, I'm going to tell y'all what they're doing. And I certainly won't be going along with their crap. Not without consulting you. Now, if y'all want to go along with crap, that's what you want. You say, yeah, Brother Eric, go ahead and vote for crap. Okay. But I hope you found this report useful and inspirational. I know it was long. So those of you who are bored out of your minds, you can now wake up. Thank you very much. It was a good meeting. Let's hope the next one will be better, even greater. Peace.